Good evening. Tonight's video is all about how to prepare your puppy for life post-lockdown. So this is something that's coming up a lot in puppy classes. People are saying, how do we make sure we're socialising them properly? How do we get them used to being on their own? What do we do when visitors come? So through this video, I'm going to show you a few little tips on how to prepare your puppy as best as possible for life after lockdown. Okay, so we're going to start with some separation training. So a lot of people are worried about how their puppy will cope when they go back to work. So we need to start by teaching puppies we're not available to them 100% of the time. So this is Neil and little Tig, the puppy. And what he's doing is he's just sitting down and reading his book. Tig is looking for a little bit of attention and he's just going to pop her into her bed. So encourage her to be a little bit more independent. Just having a think about it. So this is something to do when your puppy's had a walk, they've been played with, they've been to the toilet, they've had some food, and it's a good time to get them to rest. So now she's settled in her bed, he's going to go back to a little bit of reading. And the idea is we can get them used to you leaving the room. So he's going to stand up and walk away. Tig can see him going, and she's choosing to stay in the bed. So it's good. So you can come back in the room, sit down, pick up his book. So Tig's just seen him come and go, and she's able to stay relaxed with it. Now, if your puppy tries to follow you, like this, it's fine. You can just come back and sit down again, get them back into their beds, settle them back down again. Wait for them to relax. Just go back to whatever you were doing. So Neil's reading that book. Can't quite find where he was. There he was. And Tig's just going to have a little wander around here, so that's okay. She's looking at him, wondering if she's going to get any attention, and he's just carrying on, engrossed in his book. So she's starting to self-settle again now. So when she starts to relax and lie down, he's going to think about leaving the room again. So the idea with this training is we are teaching pups that it's okay to be on your own. We're only going to leave them if they're settled. And if they get upset or they panic or they try to follow us, then we just come back and we sit down until they settle again. So there's no cue with this. We haven't instructed her to stay or anything like that. We're just teaching her that it's okay, this is part of life. People come and go, and gradually you'll be leaving your puppy for slightly longer each time. You might close the door behind you, and if at any point your puppy tries to follow you, you take it back a step until they don't try and follow you anymore. So now Neil's left the room for a little bit longer. And Tig's looking, but she's not making any attempt to follow, so she's not distressed by this. And this is what we're aiming for. And for some puppies, if quite Velcro puppies, you might find this takes a little bit longer, or it can take quite a bit longer, particularly if you've got poodle cross or a sausage dog. They tend to be the worst for wanting to be with you all the time. And this is another setup. So this is a puppy called Tutor Claire and her puppy Beansprout. Beansprout's got a pen in Claire's house, and she's given him a nice chew, and he's quite happy to go in there. She's able to close the gate. I need to build up to being able to do this, so in a similar fashion to what we just did with Tig. And she can just walk away, and he's still happily settling himself down there. So that's good. So he's made no attempt to leave. He's quite happy. He sees that as a safe place to be, so then Claire can just practice wandering around. She can leave the room, see her other dog, come back, and he's still settled with his chew. So if he'd left the chew and he'd got up and he'd come to the gate, she'd have come and just let him out. But if he's happy to stay in there nice and settled, it's a nice safe place for him to be, and it can assist you with elements of your training, particularly if you've got an open plan house or you don't have many internal doors. A little pen might be useful for you. So he's quite happily, oh, you're there. Oh, yeah, okay, don't care. Eat my chew. That's what we want. We want puppies to go, oh, right, you're there, but actually I'm doing something, I'm busy. So using food and chews and things like that is a nice way of doing things. So you want to make sure you're not being sneaky. So not chucking down a load of food and then sneaking out. Otherwise your pup's going to panic We want puppies to learn that it's okay to relax and eat because you're coming back and there's nothing to panic about. So you want to build on that until you're able to leave the house, the front door, gradually for longer and longer periods of time, up to perhaps a couple of hours. And there he is, just had his chew, having a good old snooze in his crate now, in his pen. Good boy. Our puppies for visitors coming into the house, because we've been in lockdown for quite a long time now and we haven't had people coming inside the house. This can be quite scary for puppies, so have them secured in another room or behind a baby gate while your visitors come in. Make your visitors nice and comfortable, get them to sit down, and then once they're sitting, you can bring your puppy in. It's a good idea to give them something to do. So Tig's been given a stuffed Kong on a bed there, reasonably far away from the visitor, who's actually me because we're still in lockdown. Setting your puppy up for success and giving them some space because they might be a little bit spooked, and if they are, that's okay. Now you might find that even by doing that your puppy still barks at visitors coming in. It's different for them, it's new. Up until this point they've just been used to you guys, your family, but not people coming into the house that they're unfamiliar with, so it can be a bit scary for them. So what we need to do is make sure they feel as safe as possible, give them some distance like I showed you in that clip just now, and some nice things to do. If they get a little bit spooked, try and increase the distance, or you can take them out the room, let them calm down, bring them back in. You might want to have them on a lead if they're particularly spooked and barking a lot. Don't tell them off. They're going, oh my goodness, who is that? Get them out of the house. So we just need to give them a little bit of space, nice rewards. Your visitors can gently throw some food towards them, but they shouldn't be encouraging puppies to take food from their hand at this stage. Just let them approach in their own time if they would like to. The same is true when you're outside on a walk. So once we're able to actually greet people normally, shake hands, say hello, give hugs and kisses and all the things that we want to do now, but we can't because of lockdown. So once we're able to get closer to people, we need the puppies to be able to stay nice and relaxed as well, because they're likely not to be tiny puppies anymore. They're going to be creeping into adolescence and starting to feel a little bit more unsure about things. So up until that point, currently puppies are maintaining a social distance because we're having to keep them on leads and apart from people. You might have been letting your puppy off lead. It kind of depends on where in the country you are and what the local restrictions are as well with that. But if you've been keeping your puppy on a lead or on a long line up until this point, and then suddenly when lockdown finishes, they're allowed to approach people, people are going to touch them, they might be a little bit concerned by that. So make sure you first of all teach your puppy a really good recall. So we recommend being very fun when you're out on a walk. You want to have a toy and have a good game with them so they learn that it's really fun to come back to you. You can feed part of their meal on a walk as well, so that they're eating from you. So it's just fun to be around and it's good to be around you. But if you find that your puppy looks a little bit concerned, perhaps they start staring at people a little bit longer than just a glance, call them back to you, give them a little bit of reassurance. It's okay to say it's all right. You can't reinforce if they're worried. You can't reinforce that with a little bit of affection. So that's fine. Just try not to be too like, oh God, it's okay. Just, yep, you're okay. Look, it's fine. Give them a bit of space if they're worried. So walk them away and let your puppy know that you're there for them. You've got to protect them. You've got to be a safe space for them. So if your puppy's worried because there's a strange looking guy over there and they're eyeing him up and thinking, oh my God, what's that? You just go, come on then, come back here. And you call them back to you and reward them for coming with you and then walk them away. So you've taken charge of the situation. You said, come back to me and I'll get you somewhere safe. So your puppy's learning that actually they can come to you if they need a bit of security, a bit of reinforcement, a bit of comfort and a bit of protection. Same thing for dogs. So dog-to-dog socialisation is really difficult at the moment because everyone with new puppies, you're not under the guidance of any trainers. We're not doing controlled puppy play sessions or anything like that because lockdown doesn't allow for it. But after lockdown, puppies going to be allowed to go up and meet any dog they like, really, but they might not be brave enough by then. So if you can, get a long line and a harness, get a good recall with your pup, and then practice nice, short interactions with other dogs. So if another dog approaches yours, keep nice and relaxed. Keep your lead nice and relaxed. This is where a long line is really useful because you've got the length of that, there's 10 metres or so, you can keep it nice and slack. So your puppy's got the freedom, fight or flight. If they're worried, they can just move away. They're not going to panic. If you have them on a short lead and it's very tight, they're much more likely to freak out if they're scared and the dog comes over. So keep it nice and relaxed. 3 seconds of greeting. Okay, good, let's go. Or if they're off lead or on a or if the other dog wants to have a little play and your puppy looks like they're up for it, then they can have a little play. That's fine. We've got another video that I made a couple of weeks ago on body language. I suggest you have a look at that one. You'll find the link in the videos tab on Facebook, or if you're watching on YouTube, it's all up on there already. Get to know your dog's body language, and again, be their mobile safe space. If another dog is scaring your dog, call them back and let them know that you'll protect them. And how that looks is if another dog comes running over, you're just gently going to fend the other dog off. So you're keeping your dog free and around you. You just gently push the other dog away. So your puppy learns if they're worried, they can come to you and you will sort it out. You will keep them safe.
Good boy!
Hope you found this video useful. If you found it informative, then why not hit the share button? Just remember, during lockdown, it is a difficult time for everybody, including our pups, and it's nothing that any of us have experienced before. So make sure that your puppies are getting used to spending some time on their own gradually. Do it at a rate where they can remain relaxed throughout. Encourage independent activities, so things like Kongs and other enrichment toys. Check out our video on different types of enrichment for your puppy, as that will help to encourage them to do things on their own. Think about planning for visitors, teaching good recall so they come back to you in the park, short, sweet interactions with other dogs, and gentle encounters with new people as well. Okay, thanks very much. Enjoy the next clip of Tig falling asleep, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.